Okay, we'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Bruno, would you like to say the prayer?
Yes. Loving God, as we come together tonight for the city of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as servants of your people, we pray that you grant us a share of your wisdom. Amen.
Amen. Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Bruno?
Here?
Mrs. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Fry?
Here.
Mayor Brody? Mr. Rosick?
Here.
Mr. Pedro?
Here.
Mrs. Duncan?
I need a motion to excuse the mayor and Mary Duncan. They both
So moved.
are unable to attend.
So moved. Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We need to approve the minutes from our regular council meeting of December 10th, 2018, and special council meeting of January 7th, 2019.
I'll move to approve
Okay.
both minutes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second?
All right. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we need a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes stand. All right, and we invite any citizens' comments for this evening. Seeing none, okay. We'll move on to our staff reports. Mr. Gokenauer.
Yes, council has a copy of my report. I'd like to add, every year in a past position, I bring this up, and I'd like to bring it up again, is the filing deadline for council financial disclosure statements is May 15th of 2019. And you can fill out those statements online or in paper form, and if anyone has any questions regarding that, I'm available to assist on that.
Thank you. Any questions for the administrator? Okay, moving on to our law director.
No report.
Okay, thank you. Our finance director?
Yes, let me
Doubling Mr.
let me fill in for the finance director tonight. Council has a copy of the finance report for November 2018. We ended the month of November 2018 with an ending balance of $6,066,696. We had a investment income balance at the end of November of $42,371. We have our RETA income tax reports. Those are enclosed for November and December 2018. November's collection was $255,406, which was approximately $15,345 less than we collected in November of 2017. December's collection was $199,657, which was about $6,900 more than we collected in December of 2017. The year end for income tax collection was $3,431,459. So that was about $98,000 more than we collected in 2017. So in terms of our income tax collection, we did collect more than we collected in 2017. We were about 2.9% above our 2017 collection. If you remember, we had a 3% increase projected from 2017 to 2018. So we were off our projection by about $36,395. In terms of our estimated budget, again, estimated revenue, we were at 98.95%. So real close to what we projected, 2.9% above 2017. We projected a 3% increase. As I mentioned at a previous council meeting, I discussed our income tax collection from net profit taxpayers, which now you have the option of paying through the state of Ohio, and we have a small number of net profits in the city that take advantage of that, but I thought I'd mention that collection as well. That was $18,396. So in actuality, we're about $17,999 off of where we would have been in terms of meeting our projection. So we were less than 0.5% off our projection when you consider the net profit taxpayers that file through the state of Ohio that used to file through RETA. So now they file through the state of Ohio. Real quick, I'd like to mention our income tax projection in the proposed budget is $3,502,533. So that's a 1% increase over the 2018 RETA collection.
John, where does that, the net profit tax then show up on the, anywhere?
It would show up on our monthly budget reports.
But not on this statement for
Right,
RETA?
that's just the RETA reports, and we probably should, I guess, moving forward, since the net profit, I guess, income tax is getting larger, maybe we have a small report attached to the RETA report that says net profit income tax for 2019. This income is through December of 2018.
Does that come in all at once, or is it?
It's supposed to come monthly, but it doesn't usually come
Yeah,
monthly. It
I
comes,
thought.
Every other month or every 3 months. So it's irregular, but I would suspect that it'll probably get on a monthly basis. This is the first year that we collected this, so we added it to the budget this year. Yeah. Other than
So
that, that's concludes my report.
So John, you said 2018, we had a 3% projected increase, and for 2019 proposed budget, we have a 1% projected increase?
Right, we projected a 3% increase from 17 to 18, and for 18 to 19 is 1%, yes.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
If I may, John, so the $98,921, which is collected above projection, correct?
It's collected above our 2017 collection, our actual collection.
Okay. And then secondly, is it 98,000 plus the 18,000? Is that another way to say it?
Right, that's
Okay.
correct.
And then my other question would be, and maybe we can talk more about this next meeting, what is the expected expenses for 2018 that maybe we haven't bought the particular item, but it's been allocated and accounted for? What is the difference there?
Well, we haven't quite closed the year 2018, but I guess in a draft or preliminary sense, I think we'll see that our ending balances in, for example, the general fund and the public works fund are more than we projected in the proposed budget. So the proposed budget that you're going to consider this evening, there are some assumptions in there that the ending balance for 2018 is X. Well, again, in a preliminary sense, it looks like those are going to be bigger than we projected. So we'll have extra money to look at, maybe maybe appropriate next year. But I guess what I'd like to do at the next meeting is we'll close the month of December, and then we'll have an accurate idea of what our ending balances are and what our beginning balances are for all the rest of our funds.
Okay, you must be reading my notes, because I was going on. I would like maybe at the next meeting to have, as you just mentioned, that information. I realize it might be draft, but what I'm getting at is later on in our budget discussion, I do know, or I believe rather, we need to find some more funding for our roads. And I know we've set aside funds each year, and this next year, current year, 19, we've got some funds set aside to match some grants. But I do believe going forward, we need to look at ways to put some more funds in that account. So I guess I'll wait till see how that all shapes out. Thank you. That's all, Vice Mayor.
Any other questions for the finance? None? All right, moving on to our treasurer, Mr. Schultz.
Vice Mayor, and members of council. My report was inadvertently, I believe, left out of your packets, but I did pass them all out to you, so you have them. They weren't left out because we went down by 600,000 for the month. Anyway, I believe you do all have a copy of that now. As Mr. Gokenauer, our administrator, and our finance director had mentioned, through November, we're at about $6,067,000 in all the accounts. Once again, as I know you know, November is when our balances start going down because we start paying for all of our projects that we are working on in the summer and in the fall. So again, we're down about 600,000 over over our October balance. The general fund went down a little bit. You'll see that the capital fund went down about 326,000. That's primarily because we're starting to pay for the water lines, et cetera. As a matter of fact, we had $350,000 of payments on water lines, paving projects just for the month of November. And then the water and sewer fund are down about 200,000. Once again, we had about $172,000 paid for a bond payment, a semi-annual bond payment. So again, they make sense, but again, we're at about $6,067,000 at this point in time. So with that, that's the end of my report.
Any questions for the treasurer? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our police chief.
Evening, council members. I don't really have anything to report tonight. We are still working through what I reported last time I was here, the Lexipol policy manual. We've got a number of those policies out to different officers reviewing them. I guess I'd call them content experts. The firearms policy to the range instructors, canine policy to the canine officer, so they can review them from their point of view. My Lexipol contact right now is kind of out of pocket. She's had a serious medical issue in her family, so she's not available right now. She's down in Florida somewhere. And we'll get back, when she gets back to work, we'll go through reviewing things. So that process is ongoing. And then the only other thing we have going right now is we're starting to look at specs to replace our mobile computers, which is part of my capital. It's the only thing in my capital budget this year, to replace the mobile computers. Once the budget's approved, as I reported, those will go off of support. They will no longer be supported. They'll be obsolete. Won't be supported by the county at the end of the year, late this year. So we have to get those replaced. We have a pretty good idea what we're going to do. No sense reinventing the wheel there. The county's already replaced a number of theirs, have identified a unit that works very well. TPD has a mounting system in their cars which accommodates the two-officer cars much better, takes up a whole lot less room, much less of a knee knocker. I've seen those at DRE, so we may go with that mounting because we have to change the mountings anyway. So that's where we stand with that, and I don't really have anything else.
All right, any questions for our police chief? All right, seeing none, thank you. It's good to see you moving about nicely.
Yeah, I'm 2 months out of the first one. Unfortunately, in the middle of next month, I got to go do the other one.
Oh,
So
boy.
I'll be probably 4 to 6 weeks on that one.
Yeah, and it'll be good as new.
Well, this is to be expected.
And our acting fire chief.
Good evening. You all have a copy of my report. The only additions I have is ongoing with our staffing issue. I have 2 paid per call that have gone through physicals and are going to be hired soon. And I do have 4 more applications that were turned in today, 2 for paid per call and 2 for part-time. So hopefully we'll work on gaining some staffing there. Our new medic is here. It's in service. We had a public pushback and it went well. We had about 30 people attend. Some people attended and saw the unit, didn't stay for the pushing part, but they at least toured the unit and had gone on. It is here at the end of the meeting if any of you that have not seen it would like to go through it. It was built right here in Ohio, so something to be thankful for. End of year for us was growing again. We were up 13 runs, which doesn't seem like a lot, but Story Point is not fully staffed, or residents aren't fully moved in yet, so that could potentially be going up also. And then the last thing I have to report is we'll be switching our reporting system February 1st. We'll be leaving Firehouse and going to emergency reporting. So March's report might look a little different because when we get the February numbers in, it'll be in that new system. So bear with us through that change if you would. Don't have anything else.
All right, any questions? Yep, Mr.
Uh,
Pedro.
I was able to be at the pushback, and I didn't push back, but I pushed the wrong button. The siren went off, so don't do that. But no, I thought it was a good presentation, and I know several of the firefighters and paramedics were there with their families, and some citizens, and some young folks. So thanks for taking time to do that.
Yeah, no problem.
Have we ever done that before?
We've always pushed them back. We've never done a public one. But I felt it was an opportunity to let the citizens get to see what is being purchased and supporting their community, so.
I thought that was a great idea, and yeah, and it builds community involvement. That's fantastic, and brings them in, exposes them. So good, keep that up. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you. And our Public Works Director, Mr. Blair.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Council. I really don't have anything in particular tonight. I'll just mention that I have added a project to the project list at this meeting. It's the urban paving project. If you recall, that's Michigan Avenue, runs down to the new intersection down by the bridge project. That was actually supposed to happen in 2018. However, we had to delay it because of the water line project. Some of these projects at the next meeting, you'll see they're going to be taken out and new ones put on. Probably the first quarter of the year, you're going to see our in-house paving project. That Disher Drive, I believe, is scheduled to be done this year. We have another downtown street lighting project we're going to do this time in the, excuse me, in the residential areas. We've got sidewalk program coming up and a water line extension down at Dutch and Anthony Wayne Trail. So if you're seeing a lot of new projects coming up for this year. Just a quick update on the bridge project. Currently, they're working on Pier 6, forming that pier from bottom up and excavating Pier 7. So they'll be working on that as long as the river cooperates. So and we'll try to keep you up to date on that as time goes by. Also, though, that they do have most of the decking on the top concreted now. So you can see it's all covered, but a lot of it has been done. Other than that, that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
How many piers are there?
7.
So that's the last one?
That'll be the last 2.
That's great.
And then they'll span out to
So,
the head walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh boy. All right, any other questions for Mr. Blair? All right, thank
Thank you.
you. All right, communications from council. We'll start with Mr. Pedro.
I do not have anything, Mayor or
What?
Vice Mayor. I reserve the right to come back.
Mr. Rosen.
Nothing tonight,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Mr. Fry?
We had our first cemetery district meeting this evening. So we had a number of things that we covered. And just a couple things that I wanted to bring up to council is we do need to put an agreement in place with that pertains to the seed money that the city has agreed to. And I don't know, John, if we need to do a resolution for the next meeting to talk, to get the agreement of the city. As far as we're looking at the $50,000 in seed money that would be paid on a quarterly basis. The first one initially when the agreement's put in place, and then quarterly thereafter. And then also we just we need to talk about the repayment of that. If it's going to be, we talked about a 3 to 5 year period. I'm leaning more towards the 5-year because of some of the other capital expenditures that are going to need to take place due to some deferred maintenance of the cemetery. So it's just something that we're going to need to talk about and get the feeling from City Council as far as the repayment of that seed money.
I think we're gonna work on getting like a draft resolution ready, perhaps for the next meeting.
Okay.
Other than that, I also was able to push the new ambulance constituents back, so it was a nice event and well attended, so it was fun.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Mr. Bruno?
No report tonight.
Okay, and I have no report. Moving on to old business, we have resolution 6018, which is a resolution approving and adopting the City of Waterville fiscal year 2019 5-year capital planning program for all municipal funds and departments. Obviously, this is something ongoing. Council has been reviewing it, and I guess if we have any discussion regarding it, we can do that now. But seeing that we have 2 council members out tonight, we should postpone any kind of action on it. So, is there any discussion? Anybody would like to bring up any specifics of that? Not this evening? Okay, well then we'll just move on and talk about that at the next one. Moving on to ordinance 2518, an ordinance amending the municipal zoning map of the City of Waterville by establishing the permanent zoning of certain recently annexed property located on the west side of the Anthony Wayne Trail north of Canal Road, Andrew and Jennifer Wren property, parcel number 91-33926 as R1 Residence District. The first reading was scheduled for December 10th, 2018. The second reading scheduled for this evening, January 14th, 2019. And the third reading and public hearing and legislative action is scheduled for January 28th, 2019. Mr. Gokenauer, any comments about that?
No, other than it is the second reading, and the Planning Commission did meet on the December 3rd of 2018, and they did recommend that the area be rezoned because of annexation to R1 Residence District.
Okay. All right, moving on to ordinance 2618. An ordinance amending the municipal zoning map of the City of Waterville by establishing the permanent zoning of certain recently annexed property located on the south side of Neapolis-Waterville Road, Miller and Browning property, as A1 Agricultural District. The first reading was scheduled for December 10th, 2018. The second reading scheduled for January 14th, 2019 this evening, and the third reading and public hearing and legislative action is scheduled for January 28th, 2019. Mr. Gokenauer?
Yes, this is also something the Planning Commission discussed at their December 3rd meeting, and very similar, 2 parcels of land annexed into the city, currently zoned A1 in the township, and the recommendation was to maintain the agricultural zoning in the city.
All right, moving on. Public hearing ordinance 2718. An ordinance adopting the annual appropriations for the municipality of Waterville for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019, and repealing ordinance number 2818 and declaring an emergency. The first reading was scheduled for December 10th, 2018. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for this evening, January 14th, 2019. And the third reading and legislative action is scheduled for January 28th, 2019. So I'll go ahead and open up the public meeting. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make comments on this? All right. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. And Mr. Gokenauer, did you want to comment on that at all?
Other than it's the second reading, and the public hearing was scheduled for this evening, and council should have a copy of the proposed appropriation for 2019, and we're ready to discuss any questions that you might have on that.
Okay, so do your homework, council. Mr.
Is
Pedro?
that one? Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead,
sorry.
no, go ahead,
Please.
sure, please.
Just one quick question. I think I asked this last year also, but the column for current 2018 appropriations, once you finish the December books, will that become the final 2018? Or in other words, are we going to get another one of these documents with the actual numbers for 2018, or is this the last version?
Well, we can try to get you the actual numbers for the next meeting. Yeah, so we would change, the beginning balances would change for all the funds.
That whole column would change, wouldn't it? The
Right.
2018? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Is that worthwhile doing, John, do you think?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we could do that. I think what you're gonna see though is the beginning, balances for 19 are going to increase, due to the fact that, some of the things that we budgeted for, we didn't spend, last year, and so those numbers would improve, and maybe it'll give you a better sense of, I guess, where we are in terms of, moving forward in the next year.
All right.
So, just, are you done, John?
Yep.
So just to kind of continue what John mentioned, so in 2 weeks, we'll come back and look at this. That's where I like to have the conversation about improving funding for the roads. So will we have a chance to do that on the 28th? I know you gotta do the closing of the books. Let's hypothetically, you come away with $125,000 in, I guess, receipts from taxes, and then you have another 100,000 across the board that just didn't get spent, or we bought things for a better value because it was on sale. Can we then take that 250,000 plus or minus and decide as council to put it in roads or something else?
Well, that's, entirely up to council if they wanna do that. We do have the 5-year capital, it's pre-funded, and it's based on the numbers that, we're transferring in there, and it's based on the figures that we have in the budget currently. So I guess if we're ending the year with a little better beginning balance for 2019, we could look and see if there's
Okay.
anything there for you.
All right, good.
We also need a project, so Mr. Blair will have to look at that and maybe recommend something in that respect.
Okay. No, good. I want to have that conversation. Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Not this time? All right, moving on to new business. Referral to the Planning Commission. Conditional special use permit application for the property located at 11 North River Road. Mr. Gokenhour, you want to comment on that?
Yes, the applicant, the Waterville Historical Society, is requesting to amend their original request, which was to rezone the property, and now they would like to pursue a conditional use for the property located at 11 North River Road, with the idea of asking to have a conditional use to have a residential use in the bottom main floor of the building at 11 North River Road.
All right, council, you have any? Well, I guess we need a motion to send this to the planning commission.
I'll move to do just that.
All right, and I will second that. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Resolution 0119, a resolution declaring the intent and authorizing the sale of municipally owned personal property, including motor vehicles, road machinery, equipment, tools, or supplies, which is not needed for public use or is obsolete or unfit for the use for which it was acquired during the calendar year 2019 by internet auction pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 721.15D. Mr. Gokenhour?
Yes, this resolution is a housekeeping item that we have to pass every year in order to sell unneeded or undesired goods through the internet. So we have to do it every year.
All right. We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passed. And resolution 0219, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to enter into an agreement with Toledo Edison for the installation of street lighting for Commerce Village at Waterville Landing, Plat 3. Mr. Gokenhour.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This resolution will allow the installation of street lighting for Commerce Village, Waterville Landings, Plat 3. If you remember, the city, for the past couple of years, we've been renewing an escrow agreement with the developer of this area. And they finally extended the roadway, Prairie Boulevard. They extended it to about 420 feet. And one of the last remaining items of work they need to do is install street lighting, which is required in our code. The price to do that is $31,050, and that exceeds our limit that we can spend without council approval, so that's the rationale for the resolution. The money is in escrow, so we will be reimbursed for the 100% of the cost of the street lighting from the developer.
Do we hold those funds?
It's held by a bank. Yeah.
So will you make the request to developer or to the bank?
The resolution, I guess, will start the request for the release of those funds.
Okay.
All right.
Is this LED lighting, John, or just regular?
I don't know. I think they do LED lighting now, don't they, in all the
Pretty sure.
new installations?
I think there was a pretty good lighting.
I don't know if it says it on there.
It might be in there. Yeah, it doesn't say.
I don't see anything in here.
Well, you sure would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would
All
think
right,
so.
there. What does that mean?
Install 24 fiber with 100-watt
We'll go back to that.
HPS
Where is
Acorn street lights.
You know what?
Okay, yeah, sorry about that, I'll do that. Yep.
This looks like it's, I think the extension area will probably be the same as Prairie Boulevard on the south side. And that would be, purchased.
Oh, that's what that
Acorn.
Well, that's good.
acorn, is that HPS Acorn?
And right here, they have like there's new, that's what that is. Neighborhood.
All right, any further discussion on resolution 0219? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'm sorry, I was remiss, and we do have some other information regarding appointments to various commissions, boards, and committees. May I see this? All right, we have 4 proposed appointments. One to the Board of Zoning Appeals, Larry Sheridan. One to the Finance Committee, David Glaza. One to the Tree Commission, William Albert. And one to the Civil Service Commission, Jeff Losey. Is there any discussion regarding those appointments? I'm sure they'll all do, anytime we get volunteers, that's a blessing, right? Yeah. All right, if we're all in favor of that, do we need a motion?
Yes.
So moved? Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right, they're appointed. Okay, so that concludes our business for this evening. I'll need a motion to adjourn,
Move to adjourn?
and I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this meeting is adjourned.
I'll hit it too loud. I'll break it.
Yeah, you too, behave yourself.